I gave you guys 4 options, and you chose for me to rank every bird in Hyrule. That's democracy for you.
Just like the founding fathers intended.
Technically true. Anyways, here's how it's gonna go down. Each bird will be given a score based on their appearance, their compendium description, and any unique characteristics that they possess. The more cool features that a bird has, the better its score will be. In order to facilitate this ranking, we're gonna be using a system that I devised, which will make everything much more efficient. The 532-point scaling system, where every single score will be on a scale from 1 to 532. Clearly, way better than the 5-star grading scale. So, before my audience retention rate spirals down anymore, let's begin. Starting off, we have the common sparrow. I believe that the green and yellow hues go really well together and provide decent camouflage regardless of whether it's in the plains or the forest biomes around Hyrule. So I'm gonna give it a 321 out of 532. Additionally, for every bird on this list, I'm going to be trying to find a real-world counterpart. For the common sparrow, I believe that the closest equivalent would be the blue-naped Chloriphonia. Let's move on to number 2. The gray wings make it seem like the bird is bundled up in a coat, and the pink gives the impression that the bird is blushing from the cold, all of which are really cool details for a winter-themed avian. The description also expands the Rito lore by explaining where they get their red feathers from. 390. Looks like Pablo from the Backyardigans. 277. The colors on the rainbow sparrow are superb. There are many colors, yet it doesn't feel too busy, and even though it would normally be detrimental for a bird like this to have so many colors on its coat, these birds are found in the jungle, a location with many tropical flowers and fruits, so this works to their benefit and is thematically appropriate. Their description also says that they are a favorite among dilettantes, which is a fancy way of saying amateur hobbyists. So even more bonus points for using cool words. 450. Each of the previous sparrows on this list will drop a Chickaloo tree nut when you hunt them down. And for some reason, the sand sparrow is the exact same, which doesn't make much sense when you consider that it is found in a desert, a place that only contains palm trees. Last I checked, palm trees do not drop Chickaloo nuts. Ironically, it's also way redder than the actual red sparrow. But I'm still a sucker for the red and black color scheme because it reminds me of pirates. So this bird's getting more points for that alone. 380. The golden sparrow is oddly similar to the sand sparrow, just yellow. However, their description does say that their feathers are resistant to fire. Pretty cool. 282. Now that the sparrows are done, let's check out a few of the Rito, starting with Teba. He was a cool character in Breath of the Wild, but felt overshadowed by the other champions. It also doesn't help that he's been replaced by his son in the sequel. 347. Tulin, the Boy Scout of the Rito. Easy 480. He takes headshots, he gets chicks, and he goes through a satisfying character arc where he learns the importance of teamwork and respecting his parents. Launchpad McQuack is looking sharp in his new goggles. 392. Rest in peace, our beloved musician. You weren't in Tears of the Kingdom, but there's still hope for the next game. 500. Has no character arc and hates everybody. 501. The Watarara tribe from the Ocarina of Time manga. We never get to see what their colors are since the entire manga is in black and white, so I'm gonna have to give them a bird which is also only in black and white. The black and white hawk eagle. Is it a hawk? Is it an eagle? Nobody knows. In all honesty, they probably shouldn't even be on this ranking list, but since the Watarara tribe is what inspired the Rito, and since the Ocarina of Time manga needs some more love, I'm going to include them anyways. In fact, I'm gonna give them a single point higher than Ravioli. Time for some pigeons. The wood pigeon is similar to the real-world rock dove, making it somewhat uninteresting, but the added pastel colors give it a unique vibe, so let's give it a 50-50 score. Smack dab in the middle. I have a theory that the rainbow pigeons are males while all the wood pigeons are females. This would make sense since in real life, males are usually more colorful than their female counterparts, like with peacocks. Another piece of evidence can be found in the compendium, which states that rainbow pigeons have higher quality meat than normal wood pigeons. This shows that wood pigeons and rainbow pigeon meat is often compared to one another, maybe implying a connection between the two? Regardless, this is one of the hardest birds to score since it has way too many colors going on and it's hurting my eyes. But the kid inside of me is also saying that shiny, colorful things are cool. So we'll go with the child inside of me and give it a score of 427. If we ever encounter an ugly bird on this list, I'll let you know. This one is close. 107. This bird comes with a cool backstory in the compendium and has a super practical color scheme for the winter. It also is one of the only 2 birds in Hyrule that yields a whole raw bird when you hunt them down, making it the most valuable small bird on the entire list. 510. I didn't know my grandfather for long before he passed away, but one of my most vivid memories was of his bird clock. It was an electronic clock he hung right next to his door, and at the top of each hour it would sound off with a different bird. Anyone else see one of those? I believe it's one of the reasons that my father is also in love with bird watching in our backyard. But anyways, the accented pigeon is another bird with a super practical design and interesting lore. According to the compendium, it is the oldest version of the pigeon in Hyrule, which would make sense since it can only be found in the sky. 420. It's a crow. They're most common around Satori Mountain and the Lost Woods, but they also control an island in the West River of Hyrule Castle. One cool fact about them, though, is that if you see a flock of crows in the sky, then it means that there is a shrine underneath them. 290. These ducks have a special animation when you shoot them down based on the game Duck Hunt. I'm not a fan of the green spotted belly, which reminds me of frog skin. Additionally, I need to get even with the duck-themed YouTuber named Jorts, who recently gave bread a rating of 2.5 out of 5, which is just, it's unacceptable. So 2.5 out of 5 for you, take that. Think about it, he is a duck. He should love bread. What's wrong with him? It has a sleek, simple design. The description says that it eats fish or frogs, which is actually accurate. Real-world great blue herons also eat frogs, as well as salamanders, turtles, snakes, insects, rodents, and, get this, other birds. So this bird can be quite the predator. 322. While the blue-winged heron is located in the waterways, the pink heron is located on the land. Pink herons can even be found in the Gerudo Desert, but only near the oasis. 321. What can I say? I like the blue heron's design better. Not a bird, but I want to put them in their place after they posed as crypto scammers and hacked my channel this year. 0.2. The next few birds on the list are all flyers, which means that they will never land on the ground, and consequently means that all of their compendium photos unfortunately suck. So I'm going to be swapping out all of these pictures for better ones I found online, like this one from Cybertagi on Reddit. These hawks are probably distant relatives to the hawks from Twilight Princess, and can sometimes be found in the opening sequence to Breath of the Wild. Since it's a cool bird, it's going to be getting a cool 374. Seagulls will fly over locations with lots of fish, similar to how crows will fly over locations with shrines in them. 221. I don't believe that there is a single decent picture of this bird online, and consequently, I don't think that anybody realizes that the cloud seagulls have tiny mohawks. So here's a picture of one I acquired in-game. Anyways, cloud seagulls are essentially normal seagulls, but with pointy things sticking out of their tails, and also a tiny mohawk. An absurd amount of them can be found in the North Necluda Sky Archipelago if you want to get a closer look at them. 230. Dangerous, unnatural, and makes weird SOS noises. 202. These things are annoying as heck when they run into you, and they look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But when you delete one of them from existence, they drop a whole raw bird, so they aren't half bad. 162. You probably saw this bird at the beginning of your Tears of the Kingdom playthrough, and then promptly forgot that it existed. They are the only type of bird which drops a slab of raw meat instead of a normal bird meat item. They're really great for farming at the beginning of the game, and they aren't quite as dangerous, so 250. Here's one that nobody expected. Remember this sound? It's the sound that comes from the jungles of the Heron region, which has led many to the conclusion that this is a monkey sound. However, in reality, this is the sound of the kookaburra, a big-billed bird from Australia. I honestly can't listen to this guy without smiling. They're so goofy and fun. simply phenomenal. And this isn't the only bird like this. There are many birds in Tears of the Kingdom which we hear but never see, but using our context clues we can figure out what bird they are meant to be. If you'd like to learn more about it, you can go onto Kiki Beth's channel here. If you enjoy birds, then this video by Beth is easily the best Zelda video on the internet. It's just a blast. Anyways, the Kookaburra gets a 408 for making me laugh every time I hear it. Way to go, you little goober. My family has owned chickens since I was 2, and I can safely say that no chicken should ever have a floppy thing on its head that looks like that. This part of the chicken is meant to be called the comb, and if it's that bulbous, then there is something wrong with your chickens. But either way, cuckoos are the classic Zelda bird, so it only makes sense to give them the decent score of 411. Otherwise, I think they will send the revenge squad after me. And that is every single bird in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom ranked. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to help the channel out, then leave a comment poking fun at my bad opinions, or leave a like/dislike. Any form of feedback is appreciated. And until I see you next time, have fun storming the castle.